The album's about... I'm trying to regurgitate the question. I think it's a huge sense of relief from me, personally. I think, I mean, even though it seems like you're a new band and you're a fresh band and you're ready to go, like, I think I felt like that record was 5-6 years in the making. The dream was just to make a record and have it out, like, and pretty much anything beyond that was gravy, you know?
I remember having that record and just listening to it over and over and being kind of astounded that stuff that we'd been working on in, you know, our bedrooms, and it suddenly sounded so amazing and hi-fi, and it was this collection of songs that even having played them 100 times, 1,000 times before, I could just listen to them over and over again. Just so pumped about other people being able to hear it sounding like that.
The expectations around Five Star, I don't know, it's just simple, good old-fashioned hard work. I mean, there's so much blood, sweat and tears went into that thing. So many combinations, so many different people from different ends of it. And I suppose once you see the cover art, and you see the art, and you know the songs in their order, and then they're kind of all of a sudden they're in a CD, which was, yeah, back in the day, so, and then all of a sudden you saw all the, you know, flicking through the booklet, and there's all these different parts and all the big jigsaw starts to come together. I think out of all of that was validating that you said to your folks, you were like, I'm not a fuck up, I actually made this work. We're number 4 now, baby, you know?
Did they believe you though?
I'm not sure they gave a shit, to be honest. But it was like, you know, all that stuff, and it was a big comment. And you know, really the hard work started after that, because there was a bit of pressure after that, to be honest.
Five Star Laundry was a laundry in Johnson Street in Fitzroy, and I think we thought of ourselves as pretty top shit, which may or may not have been true.
Wasn't true.
And we could, you know, the Five Star kind of aligned, I guess, in some way to that, but also like the laundry component of,
which is kind of ironic, right?
Yeah,
like it was this crappy little laundry.
There's an irony to it that we thought was amusing, that kind of translated to ourselves, and that was probably the thinking behind that.
The Five Star Laundry thing also felt very much part of that geographical spot in Melbourne at the time, which was just so rich with music. Fitzroy, Brunswick Street and Smith Street. And we all lived around there.
Smack bang in the middle of,
right in the middle of Fitzroy. So, I mean, it was sort of the epicentre of our worlds as well, and that certainly was part of that landscape. And I mean, I can hear it in all of that music from that time on this record. It's the sound of that street and that time.
I mean, Pete Barrett, who was the art director at Mushroom at the time, that was pretty much all his work, really. I mean, we certainly wanted, kids flicking through records in record shops. That was, we wanted to capture a bit of that sort of young lover kind of vibe.
We went down to the park, which is across the road from the Art Centre on St Kilda Road, just near where the Yarra was. And Pete had taken photos while they were sitting down just against the back of this, it's a wall, and in front of them was the Melbourne Art Centre and the city in the background. And I just remember straight at the time going, because it was picture framed, and what the part that you don't see is because it was sitting above, but if you were to lift up the camera and go that way, you would have seen Melbourne in the background with the Art Centre and the spire. And it was just, a little moment. It was a postcard in time, and it just fit perfectly.
And it's funny how the shape of those two sitting on the ground from an aerial view has almost become like a logo in itself.
Yeah.
I've actually seen several people now with the tattoo of it, which is always flattering.
I mean, Craig Harnath, who owns Hot House Studios down in St Kilda, still does. He sort of came in to engineer the bulk of that record, and
that was probably his first big record as well, wasn't it?
Well, he was in Kids in the Kitchen, so I guess he had one big record.
He was involved in Kylie Minogue's Locomotion.
Right.
He fucking wrote. He put it all together, man.
But I do distinctly remember Craig saying because I think we were debating Pro Tools. For anyone who cares out there, Pro Tools was, that's how people recorded.
Cut and paste.
Well, it was the computer revolution was kind of starting to happen in music. So there was definitely a lot of probably 80% of bands in around that time were starting to record on Pro Tools, and I guess we were debating the subject. But Craig, to his his foresight was kind of like, this is the last opportunity you're probably ever going to get to record the traditional album with tape and all that stuff. So you should probably think about that. And he was dead right. And we did it. We tried to do it the more traditional way, which was great. And it
sounds better.
It's a story that I like. I like being able to tell the kids or whatever that, here are the tapes and this is how it was done, and I don't know, whatever. Yeah, we remastered Five Star Laundry for vinyl, and I know a lot of sort of vinyl releases these days are kind of taken from CDs and put onto vinyl, and I don't know. We kind of thought we got this one opportunity to do it right. We went to all the trouble of recording this on analog tape in the first place. Can we sort of achieve the same result with the vinyl? Make the most of the vinyl, and we dug the tapes out of Warner's archives. They'd found them. There was a while there where they couldn't find one of them, and then it was remastered by Don Bartley at his studio, and then pressed to vinyl. So it's a complete remaster, genuine analog to analog remaster, which is great. Yeah,
we're actually become cool, which is bizarre somehow. It took 20 years
in your mind, but yeah.
Fucking hell.
I was listening to a few other records at the time, and I was like, gee, that sounds bloody great. Like, who did that? And I flipped it over, and it was Chris Sheldon. I was like, wait a minute. I was into the Foo Fighters, Chris Sheldon. There must be something in his mixing that I'm really digging. So he was like, that was like the first name that came to mind. Can we get Chris Sheldon to do it? And the record company did their thing, and yes, he's available. Yes, he'd do it. The only downside is you've got to go to England. You've got to go to London. I'm like, oh shit, really? Okay.
I'm like, yes, let's go. For such a small man, he sounds very big.
He's no shorter than you, Damo.
No. It's a bit bigger than that.
No, but he just nailed the mixes, Yeah.
And there were some things like Lorenzo, and we were trying to achieve this ginormous fuck off Phil Collins kind of big sounding drums, which was completely inappropriate. But he was quite good at taming things down, and he was also really good at making things a bit, because it was quite raw in those mixes, or the desk mixes were really raw, big guitars, and he just sort of gave it a good shine and a theme, I suppose, to the. And he helped out a lot with the intro of Hey Driver, and he made Death Defy sound really. He just took everything up a notch. Like in crazy times, because I remember when we first did our first EP, and I was like, it sounded good, but when you were like, you'd gone through the turnstiles of having, the ability to have some money to go and get things mixed and done things properly, and as well, you just have a little bit more experience under your belt, right? So you kind of knew the things that you wanted to achieve. So and we'd spent a lot of time on that, getting the raw sound of it, right? So by the time that he had it, we'd had really taken all the drum sounds were quite important to me, and I know the guitars, because it was on Five Star Laundry, there was something like 40 guitars, is that right?
Symphony of guitars.
Fucking 40 tracks of guitars, which is just mental, right? But
so all we had to do is push the faders up, you're saying, and it sounded
just magic.
Okay.
But he put his thing on it, and it's a massive credit to him, because he, doing that amount of work with that amount of instrumentation on all of those songs to really bring it up.
I wish we'd remixed Criminal Past and Chairman as well.
I wish too.
In that session.
I wish too.
Criminal Past was stuck out listening to it here on the car stereo today. It's still. It just doesn't quite get there, and it's a shame because it's such a great song.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But it is what it is.
What can you do now?
We can't do anything.
We could get it remixed.
We're too old.
We could re-record the whole thing. That's what Taylor Swift is doing.
With an orchestra.
She's re-recording all the albums.
She is too.
Because
She's Taylor Swift though.
Then you don't got to pay the record company.
That's fun.
that.